today? How are we doing today? In one word, if you could just drop in the chat how you're feeling today. Excited, happy. How are you feeling today? I'd like to hear from you. So just go on into the chat and just drop a message. All right. In one word, how are you feeling today? Awesome. I'm seeing some pretty amazing messages in the chat. All right. Good. Please. All right, good. Glad to be here. Awesome. That's fantastic. It's great to have every single one of us on the call today. Now, today's session is going to be a wonderful one. It's one of a kind. We are going to be having an amazing facilitator that will be taking us through this session. And there are really interesting things that we are going to stand to learn from the session today. All right. In a quick moment, we're going to have our amazing facilitator that will be taking us through this session. And like I said, there's a lot of package that is within the session that we're going to be looking into today and learning and enjoying all of the session from. All right. My name is Jedidiah Osara. I am a senior data science associate here at Analytics, and I would be having my colleague on the call that will quickly take us through this session. But before we get started, I would like to hear from everyone. I would like for everyone to introduce themselves. Just let me know in the chats, just let me know where you're joining from. We are all doing amazingly well. Where are you joining from? All right. So I'd like for everyone to just go into the chat quickly and just share. Where are you joining from? Just go on to type in the chat. All right. So represent your base. That's amazing. So we have people joining from pretty much every part of the world today. And that's really amazing to see. All right. That's really amazing to see. Now, why are we here? Or who are we exactly that are in front of you right now? All right. I'm standing here representing Tenalytics. You might be wondering who exactly Tenalytics is. Tenalytics is simply an ed tech brand that's focused on equipping people like you and I that are interested in getting into tech, right? But don't know how to do that. All right. So you have interest in getting into the tech space, but you don't know how exactly to make this transition. You have a prior background in whatever industry and you want to transition into the tech space, right? Tenalytics is an ed tech brand that equips people with the skills and knowledge that they require in order to make their transition into the tech space. We've been doing this for well over 5 years now, and we've trained thousands of people, helping them to actually land their very first role in the tech space. All right. So that is who we are. We have a team of experts across multiple industries, and we conduct trainings across, multiple fields from data analytics all the way to more technical roles like cybersecurity and the likes of it. And we've done our extensive work as well as ensure that we have quality tutors that will be taking you through the entirety of the session. All right. This already sounds amazing. All right. And like I said, we are going to be having a wonderful, fantastic time in the session today. All right. I am Jedidiah, like I mentioned earlier. I have over half a decade of experience within the field of data science, data analytics, machine learning, and AI engineering. All right. And with me on the call is my colleague Akuna, who is going to be taking us through this session. I'm just going to let her actually introduce herself as she takes us through all that we are going to cover in today's session. All right. So if we're excited to get into the session, I would like you to just, type in your best emoji, your favorite emoji in the chat.
Amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
Hi,
Thank you very
Akuna,
much.
over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Am I being heard, please? Just to be sure.
Yes, yes, we can hear
All
you.
right. Thank you very much. So once again, hi everyone. I wish I could go around and call you by your names, but hi, I can see the amazing things happening in the chat box. All right. So kudos to everyone for joining in today. All right. So I'm going to share my screen quickly and we're going to start right. Okay. I don't want to waste your time. I want to take you right into the juicy stuff for today. Okay. I hope you're excited because I'm so excited. So let's quickly move on. So this is what we have. Just going to take myself to where I'm supposed to introduce myself. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. So as you can see on the screen, my name is Akuna, all right, Akuna Anyampa, and I am a seasoned technology professional, all right. I'm a senior data scientist here at Tenalytics, okay? And I have half a decade of experience spanning diverse industries, okay? Over half a decade of experience spanning diverse industries, okay? And I've worked in sales, health, security, IT, telecom, education, marketing, NGOs, and so on, right? So you're definitely in good hands. So for more information, you can actually go online, come to my LinkedIn, send me a connection request, and then I'll connect back with you, and then we can move on from there. So let's quickly move on to what we have for today. Thank you. Now, today, we're having a short course, right? Today, together, we're going to create a dashboard for patient outcomes and financial performance in a US hospital, right? So that is what we are focusing on today. And what are we going to use for this today? We're going to make use of the Power BI, okay? We're going to make use of Microsoft Power BI. So in the comment section, I want to know how many of us are familiar with Power BI? Anyone? If you are familiar with Power BI, can I see a yes or a thumbs up? Okay, amazing, amazing. So I can see a couple of persons saying they've heard about Power BI, or I'm familiar with Power BI. Okay, another person says, I tried playing with it. I love that. I love that. Amazing, amazing. So today we're going to make use of Power BI to create something simple, but the aim is for you to be able to use Power BI to solve business issue. That's it. Okay? Just having a tool on its own is not enough. You need to be able to use the tool to solve an issue. And that is what we're going to do today. So let's move on quickly. So I'm going to move on to what I have. Okay, just to be sure, can you see my screen, please? If you can, just say no in the comment section. Okay, thank you. So I believe we should be able to see it now. Okay, amazing. Thank you. Now, looking at what we have on the screen, like I said earlier on, we have a course where we're going to create a dashboard. So let's move on. Let me introduce the program to you and what you want to do today. Now about the company. So we're going to be working for a company today called Sunrise Health Hospital. Okay, it's a US-based company. So it's actually a mid-sized hospital in the United States, and they provide medical care across different departments, including cardiology, neurology, orthopedics, and pediatrics. Okay, so that is what they do. They offer different kinds of services, medical care services across these departments that I have actually mentioned. Now, looking at the problem statements, the hospital management, they want to understand, okay, this is the issue. They want to understand how patients' outcomes, how it actually relates to the financial performance of each department. Why? So that they can improve both the health results and the profit of the hospital. Okay, they want to improve the health and the profit of the hospital. You know, you can just be doing hospital, all right? You're just running your business, you're just doing one or two things, and you are not tracking your progress. If you can't track your progress, okay, if you can't number your progress, then you cannot make progress, actually. Okay, you can't go as far as you should because you don't even know where you're coming from. You don't know where you're having loopholes. So the company, the hospital, they want to be able to unveil this so that they can what? Improve the health of the patients, that is the health results, and the profitability of the hospital. Now the aims, we just have three. Number one, to track treatment success and the readmission rates. So when we create this dashboard now, we should be able to track the treatment success rates and the readmission rates across various departments. That's number one. Number two, we should be able to compare hospital revenue and the cost for better financial decisions. We should be able to see the hospital revenue, and beside it, we should be able to see the cost, right? So that we can be able to know if they're really making profits, that's one, and if the company is making progress, that's two. Then next up, that's the third one, the third aim. We have to visualize key performance metrics in one interactive dashboard. All right, so all of these things are still in relation to the problem statement, which I earlier mentioned. So let's move on quickly. Now we have what we call the data set dictionary. We have a data set that we are working with, okay? So the company, the hospital rather, Sunrise, they've been able to collate data, collate information, all right, collate one or two things from their patients, which we're going to now use today to create our dashboard. And in the collation, they've been able to collate a table called the patient outcomes table. And the table, we have different columns. We have the patient ID column, that is the unique number of each patient, the departments, the treatment success rate, that is the percentage of successful treatments for that particular patient. And we have the average stay days, that is the average number of days the patient stayed in the hospital. Next up, but finally but not the least, we have the readmission rate. That is the rate at which, that's the percentage of patients readmitted after they have been discharged. So this is the first table. For the second table, we have the financial performance, okay? So we have 4 columns in this particular data set. We have the departments column, we have the total revenue column, all right? The total revenue generated by the departments. We have the total cost spent by the department. Finally, we have the total number of patients treated in that department. Okay, so this is the second table and the final table. So we're going to make use of both tables together today to be able to create our dashboard. So the big question, why? Why are we doing all of these things? Why are we doing all of these things? That's the big question. Why? The reason why we are doing all that we are doing is to be able to improve patient outcomes and financial efficiency of the company, right? Of the hospital. So able to improve on the patient outcomes, that is the health results, and the financial efficiency, that is the profitability, okay, and the financial efficiency of the hospital. That is why we're doing all of this. So by the end of today's dashboarding session, we should be able to help the hospital answer these questions, provide solution to their issues. All right. Now, a quick one. The data set is going to be sent to you so that later on, once you're watching the recorded session, after you have filled the form, okay, you have to fill the form first of all, right? So once you fill the form, the data sets and any other materials, the slides, everything will be sent to you so that you can also practice on your own. You can go through the slides, go through the recordings and everything. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So make sure you fill the attendance form if you want to be able to do this on your own much later. Good. So let's move on. Now, what tool are we going to use today? I mentioned it earlier on. We're going to make use of the Power BI tool. Okay, we're making use of Power BI, Microsoft Power BI. So let's begin. So now I'm done with the theoretical angle, right? Just getting the ball and setting it and getting everything rolling. Now let me show you what we are going to create today. So please, if you can see the dashboard on my screen, please give me a thumbs up. If you can see the dashboard on my screen, please do give me a thumbs up. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so that's the dashboard that we have on my screen. So this is what we're going to be creating together today. And so what do we have here? Let me take it to the full screen. It's something very simple, okay? We have the patient outcomes and financial performance dashboard for Sunrise Health Hospital, okay? So over here, you can see the treatment success rates. You can see the readmission rates. You can see the total revenue. You can also see the filters. Then to the middle, the first chart there, you can see the treatment success rate by department. So you can see once you relate everything later on back to this dashboard, you see that all the aims of the project, everything that we require has been answered via this dashboard. And we can see that the pediatrics department, they have the highest success rates, followed by the cardiology, the orthopedic, and then the neurology. Okay, so over here, we also have the revenue versus the cost per department. And just to summarize everything, okay, because of time, if you notice, any department that has high cost, total high cost, that is the cost is very high, they also have a high revenue. That is those companies actually really doing very well. I mean, look at their readmission rates. Their readmission rate is approximately 7%. That is 6.6%. That's a very good one. That means the patients are being really catered for and they are getting their healing well enough, right? So this is what we're going to create today. We can also see the number of patients by departments. You can see the cardiology department, they have the highest number of patients. So that tells you something. So now the thing about data analysis is that you can dig deeper and deeper and deeper. So now let us create what we have on the screen. Now to create what we have on the screen, I'm going to share my Power BI desktop. So that is what I'm showing now. That's what we have now. We have our Power BI desktop. And the first thing you need to do is you need to be able to import your data. Okay? You need to be able to do what? Import your data. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on Excel workbook because what I'm importing is actually my Excel file. So I'm importing my Excel workbook. All right. So now to import the Excel workbook, I'm going to click on my Microsoft Excel and then I'm going to select health data sets. All right, that is what I have there, health data sets. And then I'm going to click on open. And so when I click on open, it's going to take its time to connect the Power BI desktop, right, to the health data set that I've, imported. And it's taking its time now to just do that. So why is it important? It's going to import all the sheets under. Good. So over here, we can see the sheets. We have table 1 containing the patient outcome. I'll check it because I want to load it to my Power BI desktop. Next, we have table 2. I'll also check it to load it in. And then I'm going to come down and click on load to load everything into my Power BI desktop. So it takes some time. So it's going to take its time. Power BI is very ladylike. So it's going to take its time to load, to get loaded. Okay, just give it some time. Amazing. Okay. I think it's almost done. Amazing. So it's done. And it's told you how many rows it has been able to get loaded onto your Power BI desktop. Beautiful. Nice. Now to the right-hand side, we have the data where my cursor is over here, the right-hand side. And that is where you can see the tables. Okay. The tables that you imported, table 1, table 2. I just expanded it and you can see all of them. Beautiful. Now the first thing we're going to do is we need to change, all right? We need to change the background color so that it fits what we are trying to do, okay? Now to change the background color, I'm going to come over here to this place, to this pane, and then I'm going to go to the canvas background where I will get to change the background color. So I'm going to click on color, and then I'll come over here to more colors. So before this class, before this session, I already took my time to come up with the colors that I want to use, okay? So when you're doing yours, you can also use what I have. So the color code we have there is E6, 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 right? That is the color code, and that is the exact one I want. Then to make it visible, I'm going to remove and reduce the transparency down to 0%. And obviously, if you look here now, you can see that it has changed. Perfect. This is what I want. So I'm going to close this. And then I'm going to come over here to the canvas settings, and I'm going to open it up. Next thing I want to specify is the size of my canvas. That is the size, the length and the breadth of my sheets. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come down here to type. I'll change it to custom, and then I'm going to put the height. The height is going to be 900. Oh, not 9,000, please, 900. And the width is going to be 1,400. I already practiced this before the class. That's why I know. Okay, and then we are good to go with that. We're good to go with that. Okay, one thing, I want my transparency to be, I'll go to my canvas background. I don't want it to be 0%. I want it to be 35. So I'll change it from 0% to 35. Good. I just looked at how it looked and I wanted it to look more pronounced. Now, the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in the text. So I'm going to go to Insert. From Insert, I will go to Text Box. I'll click on Text Box and automatically my text box is going to appear here. And then I'm going to look at my dashboard and I'll see that the name of the dashboard is Patient Outcomes and Financial Performance Dashboard. All right. So what do? I'm going to come over here and I'm going to type out just what I stated. So I'm going to say patient outcome and financial performance, all right, dashboard. So I'm just going to put that there, okay? Financial performance dashboard. So I can just put the name of the company or the hospital. I'll call it Sunrise, right? Let's check the name again, just to be sure we're getting the right spelling. Sunrise Health Hospital, good. So I'll come over here and I'll put it as Sunrise Health Hospital. Good. So after doing that, you can see it's quite tiny and that's not what you want. So I'm going to come over here and I'll just highlight everything inside this text box. And I'm going to change it to size 24. And I'm going to make it bold. All right. And that's good for now. So I'm going to just extend it. All right. I'm going to extend it so that I can see everything at a glance and I'll resize it this way. Okay. So that's how we're going to do that. So once you're done doing that, I'll just take this over here. All right. I'll take it again over here to make it sure that everything looks good. I'll take it over here and I'll take it again a little bit over here. All right. So this looks good. This looks good. Looks like what we want. Now, after doing that, the next thing we're going to do now is we are going to start adding the key performance indicators, okay, the scorecards. How do you do that? I'll come over here under visualization. I'll click on card and this appears here, right? So the first card that we want to create is called the treatment success rate card, right? Good. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to come over here and I'll click inside, then I'll come over here and I'll look for the treatment success rate, which is what I have here under table 1. I'll drag it and I'll drop it under here. Then once I drag it and drop it under here, a value is going to appear here, but I want to get the success rate. So I'm going to change it to average so that I can get the 89. Yes, exactly, 89.86%. Perfect. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is quickly, I'm going to double click here. I'm going to double click here and I'm going to rename it to treatment success rate. Thank you. Then I'll come over here to the middle. I'll click on that. What do I want to do now? I want to edit the call out value, all right, and the call out label. The call out label is the treatment success rate and the call out value is the 89.86%, right? Good. So what do I do now? Let's go to the call out value. The call out value, I'm going to make it 35. That's the font size. I'll change 35. I want it to be one decimal place. So I'll change this to 1. I want it to be bold. So I'll make it bold. Click on B to make it bold. What else do I need? I also want it to be white, but I'm not going to put white yet. Okay, I'll put white. But if I put white, it's going to disappear. So don't worry. I would adjust that. So I'll make it white. It's still there. I'm going to change the background shortly. And what else? So I'll just collapse this, and then I'll come down to the call out label. So the call out label, I want it to be 12. Okay, it's still 12, fine. And then I'll go over to the color and I'll change it. I'll go over to more colors, and then I'm going to put in this code, all right, under the hex. So I'm going to make it B3, 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 all right? Once I get that, I'm okay. And then I'll just collapse this. Then I'll go over to general to change the color. That is the background color of the scorecard. So I'm going to go to effects. Under effects, I'll go to color. Under color, I'll go to more colors. And then under more colors, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'll change this to the shade of blue that I want. And the shade of blue that I want is 0D, right? It's going to be 0D, yes, 0D, 6A, BF. Good. So that's the exact shade of blue that I want. Perfect, right? Good. Now we are done with the first scorecard. This looks good. What do? I'll look at the 3 dots here, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll just come over here and I'll drop this here. And then I'm going to resize this. All right. And then I'll take this up a little bit. And take it up. Just okay, yeah, this is okay. So now you don't need to do the same process again for the other scorecards, because you can do what? You can copy and paste. So now we are going to copy and paste. So I'm going to click on this. I'll do Control C on my laptop. That is Command C. And then I'll do Control V to paste. And now you can see it's pasted it on top here. Then I'll just come over here. I'll drag it and drop it here. Then I'll do again Control V, all right, to paste it again. And I'll drag it and drop it just over here. So I've been able to successfully paste it. So I'll just tap on this once, and then I'll just take it down a little bit with my down arrow key. And there we have it. This is perfect, right? So we're good to go. So the next scorecard, or rather the next one we want to create, is the one for readmission rates and total revenue. Okay, so very quickly, let's get back in. I want us to finish this quickly. So I'm going to click on this, all right? And then I'm going to come over here and I'll get my readmission rates and I'll just replace it over here. Okay, good. So, and then after doing that, I'll just get the average. And then I have my readmission rate of 6.6. Okay, then I can double click here and I'll remove the average of, so I just have the readmission rate only. I'll hit enter, we're good to go. So for the last one, I'm going to get the total revenue. So I'll click on it. I'll come over here to total revenue. I'll drag it and I'll drop it on top here. And then I'll double click on it. And then I'll remove the sum of, so that I will just have only total revenue. And beautiful, that is what you can see over here. Amazing, right? Nice. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add the charts over here. I'm just trying to make sure that everything is well aligned. So the next chart we are going to do is we're going to get the treatment success rate by department. Very simple. So what do you do? What do you do? So I'm going to come back here to my Power BI and I'm going to click on this, the stacked column chart. I'll click on it once. Automatically it appears here. I'll drag it and drop it here using the 3 dots. And then I'll come over here and then I would specify what I want to put there. So on the x-axis, we have the departments, and on the y-axis, we have the rates, right? The treatment success. So I'll get back in, and to the x-axis, I'll get the departments and drop it on the x-axis. On the y-axis, I'll get the treatment success, and I'll drop it there. And then you have to just be patient. You wait for it, and then you can see everything here. Perfect, right? Good. So I'll just come over here and I'll just reposition what I just got. Okay, I'll reposition it here. This is looking good. Then I'll just stretch it down a bit so that it takes the space I want it to take. Good. That's okay. That's okay. So what am I going to do next? The next chart I want to add is this chart. I want to get revenue versus cost by departments. So how do I do that? I'll come over here and then I'll select this chart, all right, clustered bar chart. I'll tap on it once and then it appears just beside here. All right. So on the y-axis, what do we have on the y-axis? On the y-axis, we have the departments. While on the x-axis, we have the total cost and the total revenue, right? Good. So what do I do? I'll come down here to these departments and I'll take it to the y-axis. I'll come down here to total cost, take it to x-axis. Then beneath it, I'll also put the total revenue just beneath it, right? Voila, we are done with that. So this is actually looking good. So just to create some space, I'll just take this a little bit this way and I'll stretch this out just a little bit. Good. So we are done with that. Next up, let's put up the other chart that we need beneath and then we'll start doing the editing, right? Perfect. So the next chart we need to put over there is, let me check. We have the number of patients by department. Okay, it's a line chart. So on the x-axis, we have departments. On the y-axis, we have number of patients. That's fine. So I'll get back in and then I'll come over to the line chart. I'll click on the line chart. And then I'll come over here. And then inside, on the x-axis, I'll take the department to the x-axis. Number of patients, yeah. So I'll take this department here to the x-axis, and I'll take the number of patients to the y-axis. And there we have it. I'll just stretch it this way so that it takes the space I want it to take. All right. So, well, I can just also reduce this a little bit. This is too long. Just a little bit. And I'll take this up a little bit more. Okay, this was a mistake. So let me just undo what I did. To undo, you do Control Z. Then I'll just click on the chart once and I'll stretch it. I'm just trying to make sure that everything is aligned, okay? Not saying much. All right, I'll click on this other chart as well to make sure that everything is what? Aligned. Alignment is key. Good. Now, finally, but not the least, we're going to create the table chart, okay? Now, for the table chart, I'll come over here to the table, where my icon is over here, table. I'll click on it once, and then it's going to appear here. Then I'll just drag it and drop it here. Very simple. So for the table chart, what do we have on our table? So let me get back to the dashboard. On the table, we have readmission rates. Okay, we have average staying days. So let's just do that one by one. So the first thing I'm going to put is, I'm going to put the departments under columns. Then next, I'll put the readmission rates just under the department. All right. Next up, I'll put what? What do we have next? We have the average stay days. All right. So I'll get back in and I'll look for where we have the average stay days. Okay. I see it up here. I'll just drag it and put it under readmission. Okay, nice. We're making progress. So next up, I'm going to check for the last one. The last one we have there is the average of treatment success rate. Good. So I'm going to get back in and I'm going to get the treatment success rate and I'll just place it under. So remember, it's average. So this is what I'm going to do. For the treatment success rate, I'll change it to average. Okay. And then I can even double click on it and remove the average of, just rename it to something more proper. That's good. Now for the admission rates, I'm going to click on it and I'll change it to average. And then I can also double click on it and I'll remove the average off. So we just have the readmission rates. Perfect. Even the average stay days, I'll just double click on it and I remove the sum off. So that we have that. So you see, as we're making the changes, our table to the right-hand side is looking a lot more different. So I'll just stretch it this way. And there we have it. It's looking much, much, much better. Now we are done with that. The next thing we're going to do now is we're going to start editing everything. So what do? I'll come over here to the first one, and I'm going to go very fast, but I'll be telling you what we're doing. Whatever I'm doing for the first one, you see the same thing I'm doing for the rest, okay? So what do? I'll click on the first chart, this chart. I'll come over here to the edits, all right? And I'm going to change, first of all, the background color. So I'll go to general, I'll go to effects, I'll go to color under background, I'll go to well, the lightest blue here, all right? This light blue, I'll click on that, and then I'll come over to the percentage, all right? I want to reduce it. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'll just make it 50%. That's the transparency. And then I'm good to go. This is what I want. All right. So I'll collapse that. I can even click on the second chart since I'm still under general. Click on the second chart. You go to effects, you go to background, you go to color, and under recent color, you see what you just used already. So you click on it. All right. And then you change it to 50% transparency. How transparent do you want it to be? 50%. You click on the other chart here, click on it. You go to the color, under effects, you go to background, you go to color. All right, you select the last one. All right, then you come over here and you select 50. That is the transparency, right? Good, you can see it change. I'll click on the table. I'll come over here. I will go to color. I'll click on the last blue that I just used. I'll click on 50%. And there we have it. You can see what I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So since we have been still here, I just remember we could also do something. I'll go over to my visual border. I'll turn it on. Just switch it on. I'll change the border now. I want to change the space, okay, the way the square around the chart looks, okay? The visual border. I want it to have this curved feel. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll change it to white, that's the color, and I'll change it to 5 pixels. That's 5 pixels. That's good. I'll do it for the next one. Select the next chart. On the visual border, change it to white. Make it what? 5 pixels. Fine, good. I'll come over here, select this chart, switch on the visual border, change it to white, and make it what? 5 pixels. I'll come over here, select this on the visual border, change it to white, and make it what? 5 pixels. So we are done. We are done with that. So you can collapse this, and now we can now go to the visual. So now you can see that everything is looking a lot more better than what we had earlier on. So I'm going to click on this first chart again. So now what do I want to do? I want to do away with the noise. All right. So I'm going to do one or two things now. I'm going to go to the middle again. I'll go to visual this time. So for my x-axis, I'm going to turn on, or rather turn off the title. I just want to see only the x-axis labels. For the y-axis, I don't want to see anything. I'll turn off the value, turn off the title. What else? Then I'll come down here to the data label, and I'm going to switch on the data labels, which you can now see up, all right? So I'm going to switch on the data labels, and then I'm going to change it, okay? I'll change the values under the data label by scrolling down. I'll see that the value is on. I'll click on it, and I'll change what do you call it now? I'll change the color of the data label. I'll change it to black, like normal black. Just wherever you see black, change it to black. And then the decimal places, I'll just make it 1 decimal place, okay? And I'm doing that for a reason. So once I'm done doing that, I'm done with the first chart. For now, I'm done with the first chart. I'll click on the second chart, and then I'll do the same thing, all right? The second chart this time, I want to put off the x-axis, okay? The x-axis, everything on the x-axis, the value and the title, put them off. That's what I said. Then you go back to your y-axis, you leave the values on, but put off the title. Then over here, you can see everything looks good, but you could do one more thing. So I want to change the way the legend to look, like where you have the sum of total cost. So I'll come over here, click here, and then I'll come over here to sum of total cost, and I would just rename it. So this is a crash course. That is why we are speeding, all right? But once you get the recording, trust me, you'll be able to slow some things down and watch. So what do I just do now? I just renamed it to total cost USD, total revenue, and I hit enter, and we are good to go. So we are done with this particular chart. Amazing, right? Good. Next up, I'm going to click on this chart where I have sum of number of patients. So I want to put everything off for the y-axis. So I'll go back to the middle. I'll go to visual, go to y-axis, all right? And I'll put off the value, put off the title, right? For the x-axis, I would leave the value on, but I'll switch off the title, and we are good to go. Then I'm going to switch on the data labels by scrolling down and looking for the data labels. I will switch it on. Then after switching it on, I'll go down and look to value again. You can see I'm repeating the same step. I'll go to value, and then I'll change the color to black, right? So that we can be able to see it properly. Good. So now once I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go over here to my table. All right, and I'll change one or two things so that the table looks a lot better. So when I click on my table, I'll make sure I'm on the middle. I'll make sure I go to visual, and then I'll go up. And I'll go to where I have style present. I'll click on style present, and I'll change it from the default to flashy rows. Flashy rows is what I just selected. Okay, so you should select that when you're doing yours. And that's all. That's all. Still under this table, I want to add something that I was not supposed to remove. So I'll come over here to where we have average success rate. I'll double click there, and I'm supposed to actually put average treatment. So I'm going to make it average. I deleted that earlier on. I was not supposed to. So I'll make it average treatment success rate. Okay. And I hit enter. And this is just the way I want it to be. Perfect. So this is good. We're good to go. Now I can also choose to click on this, right? And not stretch it out a bit down. And then we're good to go. So now that we're done with that, the next thing we're going to do now is I want to be able to add something here. Slicers, we call them slicers. So if this is actually taking too much space, you can just click on this over here and resize it a little bit. Click on this, take it up a little bit, right? Just to save some space so that we can have space where the slicers would be housed. Then I'll take this up. I'm just trying to make sure that everything looks good. All right, so this looks good. Well, not perfectly, but at least for now, this looks okay. So I'll just take it this way. So we'll manage it this way. All right. Now, over here, we're going to put the slicers. Now, to put the slicers over here, what am I going to do? I'm going to, first of all, put a text box that will tell me that this is where we have the slicers. So I'll put what to call the filter here. So I'll go over to insert, then I'll go over to text. All right, click on it. And then inside, I'm going to put filter. All right, filter. 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 And what's going to be the size of the filter? The filter is going to be 18. So I'll highlight it. I'll highlight it first of all. Then I'll come over here and I'll change it to 18. 18. What else? I'm going to make it bold. And then I'm going to justify it to the center. And this is what we have over here. So I'll just come over here and I would have my filter. So now we have our filter. So I can click here and I can just take this up if I want to reposition it. Okay, looking good, not looking bad. But if I'm not okay, I can just click on escape and I'll take it down a little bit for organization. All right, perfect. Okay, it actually brought this down as well. I didn't ask it to do that, but it just did. So I think I selected it mistakenly. So I'll select this and just trying to make sure that everything is aligned. Perfect. So now I'm going to bring up the slicer. The slicers in Power BI help us to filter down our dashboard. If you want to see for a particular year, for instance, I just want my dashboard to show me information, to show me data for just 2020. I'm going to make use of what? Slicers, right? Amazing. So I'm going to come over here and I am going to click on slicer. You have it here, slicer. I'll click on it once and the slicer appears here, right? Good. So what do I want to put there? I want to just put a slicer that will help me filter departments wise. So I'll come over here to field. I'll look for that my departments. I can pick this or that. So I'll pick the one from table 1 and I'll place it inside the field. Field stands for columns. So anywhere you see field, the other name is also what? Columns, talking about the columns in your data set. So now we have this here and you can see over here under the slicer, you can see now that we have what? Departments. Perfect. That is exactly what I actually want. So what do I do now? I'm going to change the background color of the slicer quickly. So I'll click on the middle. I will go to general. I will go to effects. I'll go to color. And then I'm going to select this my blue. This is the blue we used earlier on for the scorecards. I'll select that. And then you can see the slicer looks a lot different. Okay, that's fine. Then what else can I do? Since I'm here, I can add a visual border. I'll turn it on and I'll change it to white. And then I'll make it what? 5 pixels. And then we're done with that. I'll collapse everything. And I'll go to visual so that I can change the color to white, the color of the text inside the slicers. So what do? I'll go to slicer values. I'll go to font color and I will just pick maybe this. Okay, that's too white. Let's see how this will look. Okay, this looks better. Okay, the second one. So this is what I selected. I selected white, 20% darker. That's what I just selected. Okay, so like once you're doing yours, you know what I selected. All right, then I'll collapse that. I don't want to see the slicer header, which is the departments. I don't need that. So I'm going to just switch off the slicer header, and then I'm good to go. So now that this is taking shape, let's move on to the filter. Now for the filter, I will just click on the filter. I'll click on the filter. Okay, then I'll come over here. I'll go to effects while the filter has been clicked. I'll go to the background and then I'll select that blue. So the filter will have that blue, right? Perfect. Then for the visual border, I'll turn it on again as usual. I'll change it to white so that the background will not be having black around it. And then I'll make this 5 pixels. Okay, so I'm still repeating some things I've done before. Then for the title, all right, I can even highlight it from here, highlight the filter itself, the text. I'll come over here to A so that I can change it to white. And that is just what I want to do. So I'm done and I've been able to change the filter. Now I'm going to import. Okay, before I do that, I'll come over here to this patient outcomes. Okay, I want to change the color of the text. So I'm going to highlight it this way. See how I'm highlighting it? I'll highlight it this way. And then I'll come over here to the A and then I'll select this blue. The blue that we use for the scorecard will be the color of the text. Then once I'm done, I can just click outside, but now I want to change the background color. I don't want the text to have a background color. I want it to take the background color of the canvas. So once I've selected this, I'll come over here to effects and I'll off the background color. So automatically it takes the background color of the entire, the back, okay? The background color of the back. All right, so once I'm done doing that, what else? I want to import my logo, all right? So if I want to import my logo, I'll go to insert, the insert ribbon, and I'll go to my image. I'll click on that. And then on my system, I'll look for where I have it. So I have this here. And then I'll just click on open. So once I click on open, automatically I'll see it here. So I'll use the 3 dots. I'll hold down the 3 dots, and then I'll carry it over here, right? And then I'll come down here and I'll, try to resize it. Just need to be careful, be patient with Tableau. So I'll just resize it this way, this way. Perfect. I've been able to add my, I've been able to add my logo. All right, so I just have some finishing touches. All right, so quickly, I realized that I did not even put the right titles, okay? So the title is supposed to be treatment success rate by department. That is the first one. So we can quickly do that. I'll show you how to do that. And you can even do that for the rest of the chart. So I'll click on this chart. I'll go to the middle. I'll go to general. I'll go to title, and then I can change the title. I can call it treatment success rates, okay, by department. Okay, it's already there. I'll click on, I'll hit the enter, and we're good to go. We're good to go. So we have that. Then I would select the second one, which tells me total cost USD and by department. Okay. Well, this looks okay, right? But when I send you the slides, you can always rename it. Now you know how to rename the chart. Rename it to what it's supposed to be based on what will be sent to you. Okay. Then over here, we have the number of patients by department. This is very easy to edit. So I'll click on it. I'll go to general, go to title, click on title. I'll just remove the sum off so that it's just going to be number of patients by department. And there we have it. There we have it. This looks very close to what we have there. So if you want to change the colors of the bars, as I round up, if you want to change the colors of the bars, what do you do? Now, I'm going to show you what you're going to do. So I'm going to click on this first chart again, and I'll go to the middle. I'll see general, I'll see visual. I'll go to visual. Since I want to change the visual, I'll go down to where we have columns. Then under columns, I'll still go down to where you have color, and then I'll click on color and I'll change it to this blue. Automatically, I've changed the bar. Beautiful, right? Then I'll come over to the second one, and let me look at what we are following. Okay, for the second one, this blue is supposed to be white, and this is supposed to be blue. Fine. So I'll select it. I'll go to visual. Under visual, I would go to bars. Okay, you open bars. Under bars, you can now make the changes. So for the bars, under series, I would select the first one, which is total cost USD, and it's going to show me the color here. So I would select white. You can see it changed to white. Then I'll go back again to series. I would select total revenue underscore USD. It shows me this blue. I will select it and I'll change it to blue. the blue that we have been using for the scorecard all along, right? Beautiful. So now this is looking like what I want, but I'm not done. I want to change the line, okay, of this line charts. So I'll select this line, this chart. I would go over to the middle. All right, I'll go to visual. Then I'll go to lines. Then under lines, I'll scroll down and I will look for color under line. And then I'll go to the color and I'll change it to blue, to the blue that we have been using so far. All right. So this is it, right? This is it. This looks like what we have been able to do so far. I know that this was very fast. Now to finish up everything, right? To finish up everything and round up everything, I want to show you how you can save it. So you come over here to File and you click on Save As. When you get to Save As, you see documents, whatever you see that in downloads. So you can select documents. So you're going to save this Power BI file inside your documents folder. You come down here to where you have enter file name and you say project, whatever it is you want to call it. I'm just going to call this project MS. All right. And then I'm going to click on save, and automatically what you're working on will get saved as a Power BI file to your documents. That's one. Two, as I round off, I'll click on file. I'll click on export. If you want to export what you just created to your friends and you want to share it to them as a PFD file, PDF file, and file, not PFD, I'll click on export. I'll click on export to PDF. And automatically it's going to open up as a PDF, right? And then you get it downloaded to your system. You save it somewhere on your system. I don't know if you can still see my screen, but if you can still see my screen, you can click on the print. You can do Control P, click on print, and automatically what you have been using since will get, saved to our system. I'll click on print, and then it's going to get saved to my system. I can just put any name, all right? And I'll click on save. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are done with today's session. It was a fast one, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to move on and I'm going to hand over to Jedediah so that he gives you more dose of what we have started already. Thank you. So looking forward to what you're going to create as well. Hi, Jedi.
Absolutely amazing work, Akuna. Thank you so much for an awesome session. Could you just zoom back out so we can see the final work?
Okay. Out of the Power BI, right?
Yeah, so we can see the full thing.
Okay. So can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
All right.
This was an amazing session. Thank you so much, Akuna.
Thank you very much, Jedi. Thank you so much, everyone, for paying attention. Looking forward to what you're also going to create. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Akuna. I trust that we had a wonderful session today listening to Akuna and going through this process. Now, some of us might have been able to follow through, some of us might not have been able to follow through. Regardless, you'd have access to all of the resources that were used in this session. For you to get access to these resources, you actually need to, first of all, fill in the form that my colleagues are sharing in the chat. Right. So for you to have access to these, please ensure that you actually fill in that form, and we'll be communicating to you and letting you know how you can get access to these materials. Thank you so much once again, Akuna. This was an awesome session. All right. So we've had a wonderful time listening to Akuna, and we have come to understand what it takes to actually build a dashboard and the impact that this gives to a business, right? Once you have a dashboard within a business, it allows you to summarize all of the findings that you have within the business. We saw Akuna take, multiple records of data, and she was able to summarize all of that into a single page of a dashboard, and that's communicated effective and useful insights to us that can actually help the business to move forward. Now we are seeing the relevance of this. Now, across multiple industries, across the globe, lots of organizations are generating data consistently. You and I are also generating data consistently. If you look at the smartwatch you put on every day, at the end of the day, it probably tells you, oh, you've taken 1,000 steps today. That's data that was generated about you. So practically every single organization today and practically every single industry today generates some kind of data that can actually be analyzed and help this business to make certain kinds of decisions. And that's where experts like you and I come in, right? The data professionals. So who exactly is a data scientist or a data analyst, and why is this skill relevant? Just like I explained, there's a high demand for professionals like you and I because these businesses have this data, but they need to make sense of it. They need someone who understands this data, who understands the language of the data, understands how to analyze it, understands how to interpret it, and can help them make meaningful insights from this data. All right. And that's where you and I come in. Now, how exactly do we position you to be able to, actually help these organizations analyze this data? And is data analysis or data science actually a particular track that is relevant and something you should look into? Absolutely, yes. Here at Analytics, what we've done is to handpick the courses that you currently see available within Analytics. And what we've done over the past 5 years is to consistently conduct extensive research as well as leverage this to validate our findings, right? And how exactly do we find this? What we've come to realize is that these jobs are the ones that are in demand globally, are jobs where you can actually get into and you have job security for the next 5 years. All right. So what we've done is done extensive research and also validated our research by looking at the Future of Jobs report from the World Economic Forum. Now, this is a report that goes out every single year. And consistently, we've seen roles like the data analyst and data scientist continuously top that list. All right. This is the list for the recent year, right? For this year, 2025. And you'd see that data science, data analytics top these charts. All right. You see that these are jobs that are currently in demand and are forecasted to grow continuously in the next 5 years. So not just that you have global opportunities in this role, but this is a role that you can confidently say, oh, AI is not coming to take my job. All right. I think that's what a lot of people are scared about these days. Right. But you can confidently say AI is not coming to take my job. However, I would be learning how I can leverage AI to make myself and position myself as a better suited data analyst or data scientist. So how exactly do we help you do that? What skills do you actually need? Now that you know these job roles are actually in demand and you can actually earn a living out of this role and you have job security with a certain level of confidence, how exactly can you make this transition? What exactly do you need to know? What exactly do you need to be able to do in order to secure a job in any one of these roles and actually excel at it? And that's where Tenalytics comes into the story. All right. Our objective is simple: to make sure that you have the technical skills as well as the employability skills that you need. And the goal for us is that you actually land a job at the end of the day. We are not just focused on, teaching you these tech things or taking you through multiple classes, learning all of these tools or working through, a ton of projects. Our goal at the end of the day is to make sure that you don't just have these skills, but you actually land a job within this space and you're able to excel at this job. So how exactly do we do that? We've done extensive research, and these are the major learning areas and skills that you require as a data analyst or as a data scientist in order to excel in these roles. But before I even get into that, I would like to first of all differentiate what the job of a data analyst is from the job of a data scientist. All right. Now, there's one major thing that differentiates these two experts. Both of them work with data, both of them analyze data, both of them retrieve insights from data. But there's a specific niche to how exactly or the nature of work that they do. Now, the data analyst is basically an expert that conducts three major kinds of analysis, right? Descriptive, diagnostic, and prescriptive analytics. Now, descriptive analytics is basically focused on explaining what has happened from the data, right? What are the observations that have been made? Oh, if we look at the data, we've seen a sales trend. We noticed that in the months of December, January, February, November, December, January, February, we always experience a spike in sales, right? We've seen this trend year on year. In 2021, it happened. 2022, it happened. 23, it happened. 24, 25. We are seeing that the sales are gradually going up towards the end of the year, and it's most likely going to repeat itself at the beginning of the year. Now, that is an observation, and that's what descriptive analytics is focused on. Being able to look at data, summarize, and see what insight, what pattern can be observed, and how that can be communicated to a business. That's the focus of descriptive analytics. And then we have diagnostic analytics. The focus of diagnostic analytics is on explaining why exactly we are experiencing these things. All right. So we've observed that, oh, we are experiencing this pattern repeatedly occur, where towards the end of the year and at the beginning of a new year, we always experience a spike in sales. Now, why exactly do we experience this spike? That's what diagnostic analytics is focused on, right? So descriptive answers the what happened, what can we observe, what can we see? And then diagnostic answers the why. So we've observed this. Why exactly is this happening in our data? We are observing this pattern. Why exactly are we having more people coming to our coming to buy our product at this particular time of the year? Why exactly are our sales declining? Why exactly are employees not performing as well as they used to? Why exactly are we consistently losing customers? The focus of diagnostic analytics is on answering the why. And then there's prescriptive analytics, which now gives a next line of action. So we've understood that this is what is happening. These are the patterns we've observed, and this is why these patterns are actually occurring. The next thing is to come up with a solution plan. What are we meant to do in order to address this current situation? So you see that the job of the data analyst is only focused on working with data that already exists and focusing on discussing already existing occurrences or already existing patterns. That's the focus of the data analyst. Descriptive, diagnostic, and prescriptive analytics. Now, a data scientist is an expert that's able to do all of this and also take it a step further, right? They are also able to conduct predictive analytics. What is the focus of predictive analytics, you might ask? The focus here is basically on looking at what is likely going to happen in the future based on the patterns that we have observed, based on the trends that we are seeing in the data, right? What is likely going to happen in the future? Can we predict who is the next customer to buy? Can we predict who is the next customer that's going to leave? Can we predict who is the next employee that's going to leave? Right? Being able to forecast future events before they even happen based on patterns that are observed in the data. A very good example would be, YouTube. A lot of us watch YouTube videos, right? Drop a one in the chat if you watch YouTube videos. If you don't interact with YouTube at all, drop a zero. If you don't even have the app at all on your phone, drop a zero. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So we have quite a number of people that watch videos on YouTube. Now, you've probably also experienced this, right? You watched a video on YouTube, and then after seeing that video, you probably logged off YouTube. And after you came back, you noticed that YouTube was recommending similar videos to you. Have you experienced that? If you have, just type a yes in the chat. If you've experienced something like that, you watched something on YouTube. After you went off, you came back and you saw that YouTube was recommending something similar. Right? The same thing happens on other platforms as well. Think of Spotify. You listen to a particular song, and after you log off, you come back and you see that Spotify is recommending similar songs. Or even on Netflix, it's able to recommend similar movies to you. Now, how does it know you are likely going to enjoy that movie? It guesses that by first of all analyzing the patterns of other people that have seen that movie, as well as the other movies that you have also seen. So it understands, oh, all of these people, we have seen a pattern that, oh, this kind of people that have seen this movie are going to be interested in this other one. These people that have seen these videos are going to most likely be interested in this other one. And so if you are seeing video A, you are most likely going to be interested in video B, just like all those other people we have observed. How? And that's the job of a data scientist, going beyond just the conventional, looking into what has happened and explaining why it happened, but also predicting what is likely going to happen in the future. Before I get into this, I just wanted to, just point out the delineation and the difference between these two experts. And these two professionals actually work hand in hand in terms of ensuring the proper delivery of a project. So the data analyst can go through the descriptive and diagnostic analytics, after which they are able to hand over the project to the data scientist, who just takes it a step further and goes on through the predictive analytics. So you see that these experts collaborate with each other to actually ensure that the project or product delivery is very substantial within a business scape. All right. So which one of these might be right for you? All right. And how can you actually get into this space? What skills do you need to get into this space as well as succeed in the space? All right. For the data analyst, you first of all need to understand how to solve problems, how to think as a data analyst, how to approach a problem, right? As a data analyst, you'd also need to be able to use tools like Microsoft Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Tableau. Now, SQL is basically a tool that allows you to interact with databases. Most large organizations would have data stored in multiple locations or coming from multiple locations. It's very important that these organizations are able to put all of these data in a central location that makes it easy for you to retrieve all that you need and go about your analysis. All right. And that's where your job comes in as a data analyst. All right. You need to be able to actually interact with this data so that you can retrieve it and go on to analyze it. All right. So the data analyst needs to understand how to retrieve data from a database and go on to analyze it. Now, beyond that, you also need to be able to visualize this data, just like we've seen Akuna show us in the session today. All right. We're able to look at a couple of visualization tools that be or one of the visualization tools, as well as go through an actual implementation of a practical example using this visualization tool to actually create a dashboard. This is just an example of how you will actually be using visualization tools like Power BI to create visualizations that help the business move forward. All right. So just like the example we saw today, would actually be equipping you with the skills that you need to leverage tools like Power BI, just as Akuna showed us today, and other tools like Tableau as well to visualize our data, summarize it, and be able to effectively tell the business, this is what is happening, and this is why we are observing or why we are experiencing these patterns and trends in our data. Would also take you through how you can summarize all of this and actually communicate it, tell an effective data story that is clear and helps the business to understand what exactly their objectives are and how the data can help them to achieve or at least understand a problem they need to address and make the right decisions in the right direction that helps them to address this issue. All right. Give me a thumbs up or drop your favorite emoji in the chat if all of this is making sense to you so far. I'd like to know if I still have your attention and if you're still following. Just drop your favorite emoji in the chat. All right. Amazing. Amazing. So now we understand what skills you need to succeed as a data analyst. How about as a data scientist? What skills do you need? What do you need in order to succeed as a data scientist? All right. Just as we've seen with the data analyst, there are specific skill set that you need. For the data scientist, you also need a specific set of skills as well as need to understand specific tools. For example, you also need SQL as a data scientist because at the end of the day, your work still entails making use of data. So for you to analyze this data, you first of all have to retrieve the data that you need so that you can go on to analyze it. So the job of a data scientist starts with, first of all, being able to retrieve the data that you need. And that's why we also have SQL within the data science program. Now, in here, you'd also be learning concepts within the space of statistics, as well as using Excel, Microsoft Excel, to analyze data. We'll also take you through Python programming, which is basically a programming language that allows you to actually be able to explore your data and actually develop predictive models using machine learning concepts. Right. So when you hear the word Python, please, it's not the snake. So don't be scared. All right. I'm not referring to the snake. It's simply a programming language. And it's one of the easiest. I can I stand to defend Python any day, right? I believe that Python is the simplest programming language out there for anyone at all to learn. And it's also one that's very versatile. You can practically implement Python in multiple industries. However, the focus here is on seeing how you can use this to develop predictive models that help you to understand or can analyze what is likely going to be happening in the future based on patterns that have been observed within data. Right. So we'll take you through Python, go through machine learning, and we'll also be looking at specializations in computer vision. Today we have smart devices. You can literally open up your phone by simply, allowing it to scan your face, and then it's able to unlock that device. Right. We have smart self-driving cars today. All of these are examples of application of computer vision, which is basically giving computers eyes, helping them to be able to recognize pictures, images, and objects. And that's the focus of computer vision. And this is also something you'll be learning within the data science program. So these two tracks are focused on very specific sets of tools and skills that would equip you for the future of jobs within the tech space. Right now, with all of these skill sets, what kind of jobs can you actually find yourself working in? When you get through the program and you actually are equipped with these skills, what kind of jobs can you actually get? All of this
All right, hi everyone. Please, if you can hear me, kindly give me a thumbs up. All right. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Apologies. We're having some technical issues. So I'm just going to continue from where Jed stopped. All right. While he gets back. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. So very quickly, I'm just going to move on. Oh, okay. It took me back to the beginning. Let me just get it to where it's supposed to continue from. So Jed was talking about what we have to offer here at Tenalytics. All right. He was just trying to show you how important it is for you to sign up with our program. All right. So similar to what Jed already said, we have the technical skills and we also have the employable skills. Right. So if you mix up technical skills with the employability skills, you definitely get job offers. Right. So it's not just enough for you to just have technical skills, but you also need to have what employability skills. And here at Tenalytics, we also offer our students, all right, employability skills. We show you how to put yourself out there, how you can stand out in a raving industry, all right, an industry with many persons coming up and looking for jobs. How can you stand out? That is why we offer LinkedIn optimization sessions. We offer mentorship sessions. We even bring in HRs from reputable companies that would tell you what they look out for when they are trying to employ for their companies. All right. So that is what we do here at Tenalytics. Aside what I've actually mentioned, we also help you with your CV. So these are the things that we offer. All right. LinkedIn optimization. We show you how to optimize your LinkedIn. We also guide you and help you review and revamp your CVs. We have what to call the ATS systems. A lot of people apply and apply and apply. And the truth is that their CVs never get to the HR because they don't know how to actually revamp their CVs to be able to pass the ATS system that would enable them even get an interview. So at Analytics, we guide our students, we show our students how they can do all of this. Next, we also show you how to navigate the job markets. We offer interview preparations. We have countless students. I mean, before today's session, our host was playing, what did she play? She was playing different videos of students whom we prepped and ended up getting jobs. All right, so we help you with your interview preparations. We guide you, we prep you, we interview you, we correct you, okay, using the SEAT and the STAR approach. Now, aside that, we also have the job reference letter, which is this is really juicy. All right. We actually offer our students, our alumni, job reference letters, which they can use for whatever it is that they want to use in terms of their job search. We have on-job support. You have gotten a job, but you need support. You need guidance. Oh, I'm new to this. Yes, I did different projects at Analytics, but I'm new to this. I need guide. Oh, this is what we're going through in the office. Can you just tell me how the best way we can actually go about this? Okay, we use this in class, but our office we're using this tool, which was not taught. How can I go about that? We have the on-job support package here at Analytics. Aside that, we also have the weekly mentorship sessions, and then we have the Upwork optimization, and the list goes on. All right. So these are the things that we have. So I believe Jedediah is back, but while he still gets back on track, I would move on to the next one. So you would have the unique opportunity, including analytics and Amdari on your CV. Right? Oh, I just got this is my first job. Okay, I'm just learning these new skills for the first time. What can I do? All right. So once you go through our training program here at Analytics, you can actually add Analytics experience on your CV. So we give you an edge where we give you experience and you're not like starting from the very scratch. Right? We give you an experience at Analytics plus Amdari where you would do your internship. All right. So these are some of the perks that we actually have to offer. If you're excited, I'm giving you some doses here. And I know we are quite quiet, but if you're excited about some of these doses that I'm giving, please give me a thumbs up. This is incredible. When I started newly, I didn't have anyone to give me some form of experience. All right. So I had to just go. It's like I just went out. All right. And no one was there to guide me. But at analytics, we actually really guide you. All right. So let's move on. Let me show you more things we have up our sleeves. So we have our success stories. If you go to our 10 Analytics YouTube page, you see diverse success stories. You see people thriving after the training with 10 Analytics. We have so many stories. Okay, every day we come up with stories, new intake, new persons coming up with some jobs, amazing jobs at Amazon, at Microsoft, and the list goes on. All right. So this is another person over here, and she has a story. Ene. Ene landed a data scientist job with a company in Germany working remotely from the UK. So you can be in Nigeria and you get a job in the UK. You can be in Nigeria and you get a job in US. You can be in the UK and you get a job in Germany. You can be in UK and you get a job in Portugal. The list goes on. You can be in the US and you get a job anywhere in the world. So the possibilities are endless. This is Ene, a true life story. This is another person, Abdul Rashid, right? So he resides in Nigeria and he landed a full-time role as a data scientist with Chop 420 in the US from Nigeria. So these things are possible. These are not bedtime stories. These are not empty promises, okay? These are the realities. It's happening. People are getting jobs after our training. People are getting jobs in our training. People are getting jobs immediately they start our trainings. It's happening. We have another person here. We have Christian. He got a job at the age of 18. This is an incredible story. He got a job at the age of 18 as a data processor and analyst. You can also, later on, you can click on his post and read up his testimonial. We have more stories. Bukola, we have Benga, we have Ololade, and the list goes on. So now why are we doing all of this? We want you to join our next cohort. Today, we're able to create a Power BI report within about 45 minutes. There's more from where that came from. You can go so deep. I don't know how many of you are aware that there's a way you can actually use AI in Power BI. We call it Power BI Copilot. All right. So there are so many possibilities. There are many things you can do using Power BI, using SQL, using Python. These are things that they use in the industry. All right. So I want you to join the cohort if you're interested. Okay. If you're interested in joining the cohort as a data analyst, as a data scientist, as if you're even interested in APM, becoming an agile project manager. All right. I think at this stage, I would give the floor to Jedediah. Thank you so much, everyone. Hi, Jedediah.
Hi, Akuna. Thank you so much, Akuna. Hello, everyone. I really appreciate your patience, and I'll basically be taking things over from here. Right. So thank you so much, Akuna, once again for helping out. I've been sitting and listening to Akuna, and she's been able to take us through a lot of things, from what the program offerings are going to be, to how the program is structured, and to what you stand to benefit as a result of being a part of the program here with us at 10 Analytics, right? She's also shown us a couple of the success stories of people that have actually been able to do this, right? Make the transition and actually land jobs within these spaces, right? From data science to data analytics as well, right? Now, there's so much that's packed in the program, and Akuna has been able to take us through some of these things that we're going to be benefiting from as a result of being a part of this journey. Right. Now, one very important thing that we do here at Analytics is, like I explained, we're very intentional about ensuring that you have the technical skills, you have the soft skills as well, and you actually land a job, right? And we've seen how we actually do that here at Analytics. Now, this is your chance to actually get into the program and take advantage of this golden opportunity for the next cohort that's starting on the 6th of December. That's less than a month away from today. All right. And there's All you need to do is actually get into this, and you'd be able to take advantage of all of these, you know, um, program offerings that we have here at Analytics. Now, how exactly do you get to make that transition? All you have to do is enroll for the program, right? Whether for the data science or data analytics or any other one of our programs that you see yourself interested in, right? At this very moment, we are currently running a 50% discount on all of the programs that we are offering here at Analytics. All right. What it means is instead of paying $1,000, which is actually the full price for the program, you get to pay only $500. That's half the price. That's already a steal on its own for the amount of value that you're going to be getting. Right. All you have to do is actually sign up, and you get to take advantage of this discount as well as enjoy all of the benefits of the program, which myself, my colleague Akuna have already discussed. Right. So how exactly do you make this transition? How exactly do you secure your slot? Right. How exactly can you get started on this journey? Give me a moment to share my screen, and then I'll be taking us through how you can get on board, how you can actually sign up for this program, how you can get into the program and actually succeed at it. All right. So just 1 second. I'm going to be pulling up my screen and walk us through, how exactly you can actually enroll. Now, while I do this, my colleagues are also sharing the link to how exactly you can get started on this journey into tech. All right. So I'm just going to share this. So, like I said, while I do this, my colleagues are sharing the link in the chat. All right. So all you have to do is simply go on to click on it, and you'd be able to take advantage of the 50% discount. Now, how exactly can you get enrolled into the program so you take advantage of this 50% discount? All you have to do is click on the link that my colleagues are sharing right now. All right. So you are also being a part of these people that take advantage of the discount. Now, like I said, there's a 50% discount. However, there's a caveat to this, right? There's a caveat to this 50% discount. And the caveat is this. We only have this 50% discount available for 20 slots on each one of the programs that we have here at Analytics. So we have a limited 150 slots available. And what that means is you only get to take advantage of this 50% discount if you're able to be amongst those 150 first people that sign up. After these slots are filled out, you have to pay the full price of $1,000 to actually get started on the program. So how exactly can you lock in your slots and actually get enrolled into either the data analytics or the data science track? My colleague sharing the link in the chat. All you have to do is simply go on to click on it, and that brings you on to this website. What you want to do is scroll down and look at the specific track you're interested in. If you're interested in the data analytics track, all right, or if you're interested in the data scientist track, it's represented as full stack data scientist. All you have to do is locate the track you're interested in and click on buy now. This takes you on to the payment gateway. All right. So this is where you actually go on to, actually secure your slot and actually be able to take advantage of the 50% discount. So once you click on buy now, it brings you to this page. You have to click on enroll now. This page gives you details about everything on the program. So simply come over here and click on enroll now. This is the button on the right side. Now, when you click on enroll now, it should take you to the page where you have to provide your credentials and actually sign up on the platform, right? So that you can be able to make payments and we can actually remember you, right? And actually grant you access to our learning management system, right? Which you'll be introduced to as soon as you get onboarded on the program. So all you have to do is provide the necessary credentials and actually sign in. And that brings you to this page. On this page, this is where you get to see the payment structure. Like I said earlier, the program costs $1,000. However, we currently have a 50% discount and you get to pay $500 instead of $1,000 for the program. Now, even with this $500, you actually have the flexibility to break this down into installmental payments. So you don't have to pay this full price upfront. All you need to do is make a commitment by paying your very first installment of only $125, and that secures your slot for you, right? That gives you the advantage to to be a part of the people that can enjoy the 50% discount, as well as make sure that you can actually enjoy all of the benefits of the program. So you can spread this $500 into installmental payments of up to 4 months. So you're able to pay 4 installments, sums up to the full price. Now, more to this. You get an advantage of a 50% discount. You can spread the payment up to 4 months, but there's even more to it. If you decide to pay the full price upfront, you actually enjoy a further discount. So instead of paying $1,000, you end up paying $475 if you're paying the full price fully today, right? If you also decide, oh, I want to take the 2 months installments, you also enjoy this further discount. So beyond the 50% discount, you actually have an extra discount when you decide to pay only 2 months installments or pay the full price upfront. We're intentional about helping you gain these skills and actually make the transition. And that is why we have the payment, at this level and within this structure. It's already cut down, and there's also an instrumental plan that eases this transition for you. All right. So all you have to do to be a part of the 150 people that enjoy this 50% discount is actually lock in your slot with only $125. All right. You can actually change the currency to pounds. That's around £410. And if you're paying in Canadian dollars, that's around 735 Canadian dollars. All you have to do is select the specific currency you want to pay in. All right. Say I want to pay USD and click on apply account. All right. This brings you up to the next page where you're able to see what the instrumental payment looks like fully broken down and when your subsequent payments are going to be. All right. So once this discount is applied, you are able to see a full breakdown of when the due payments are going to be, as well as how the payments are going to go. Right now, I selected the full payment, and that's why you see I'm enjoying the further discount beyond the 50% discount. I'm actually getting an extra discount to pay $475. Right. So all you have to do is select payment plan you want to go for, go on to click on these two boxes. Check this. Please make sure you go through the terms and conditions before you check the box, and then you can go on to pay for the program. Right. This takes you to the next page where you are able to, select the best payment plan for you or select the best payment method for you. Actually, secure your slot amongst the 150 that are able to take advantage of the discount to be a part of the cohort. There's a lot of value that's packed into the program, and we're very intentional about ensuring that you enjoy all of these benefits. And even with that in mind, there's currently these discounts that you can as well take advantage of so that you can secure your slot and become a tech star in the next couple of months. Right? Is all of this sounding amazing to us? Are we feeling excited already about all of this? Give me a thumbs up or send in your favorite emoji in the chat if you are. There's a lot of value packed in the program, and this is coming to you at a steal. Trust me, this is a steal considering the value that you are getting. All right. Is all of this sounding amazing to us? Send in your favorite emoji if this is making sense. Amazing, amazing, amazing. It's been truly amazing speaking to every one of us. I would like to encourage everyone. We have about 20. We have a lot of people on the call right now, and the slots, like I said, are limited. Right. Right now, we have people interested in data analytics, data science on the call. There's a lot more of other people, other tech tracks that are also taking advantage of limited slots and actually locking in on the discount. I'd really encourage everyone on the call, if you can, to go on to your slot. all right, so that you can take advantage of this discount. All right. So we've had an amazing conversation today, listening to Akuna, who has taken us through practically building a dashboard in Power BI. We've also been able to understand what the product offerings here at Ten and how analytics is going to be helping you to position yourself as an expert that can succeed within the tech space as either a data analyst or even a data scientist. Now, I'd like everyone to respond in the chat. Which one of these tech tracks do you see yourself, fall into? Right. Let's respond in the chat. DA for data analyst and DS for data scientist. Which one of these do you see yourself moving towards? If you don't see yourself as a data analyst or a data scientist, that's fine. Just go on to type NA in the chat. All right. So DA for data analyst, DS for data scientist, and NA, you don't see yourself in either one of these roles. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of DAs and I'm seeing a DS. All right. That's really amazing. That's really amazing. For you to get into this space and secure your slot and actually take advantage of the discounts that's currently running, you can go on to click the link in the chat, which my colleagues are already sharing, and you'll be able to go on to secure your slot. That's all it really takes. With only $125, you can actually see your slot today, right now, as a matter of fact, and take advantage of the discounts and enjoy all of the benefits that the program has to offer. It's been awesome speaking to us, and I would like to take one or two questions before we drop off the session for today. So if you have a question, you can actually drop that in the chat, or you could use the raise hand gesture, and I'll just take three questions, and then we'll be able to close off for the evening. All right. I believe we had a wonderful time. So I'll give opportunity to actually ask questions, gain clarity, and we can move on with the rest of our day. All right. Sounds good, everyone. If you have a question, just go on to share that, and then I'll be sure to respond to your questions. All right. It seems like everything is clear, and it seems like a lot of people are busy trying to secure their slots. All right. Seems like a lot of us are trying to make payments and actually secure our slots. So please, you can go on to complete that process. I'm going to assume we don't have any questions because I don't see anyone in the chat or any raised hands. I trust that we had a wonderful session today, and I'll be looking forward to having us in class as well as having us on the program. Is data science and full stack data science the same? Yes. All right. So the full stack data science you see on the website is simply referring to the data scientist track. All right. We call that full stack data science because you are equipped with not just the knowledge and skills for data science, but you also look into machine learning as well as specializations like computer vision. All right. That's why it's called the full stack data science because it's a full package. All right. There's a lot of value you're actually getting in the program. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's been great speaking to every one of us, and I'll be looking forward to having us in class. Cheers, everyone, and bye for now. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Akuna. Thanks, Oluwaseun.